What's up, everybody? Happy holidays. I'm Dr. Jaws, and we're back. Hey, Howard, good evening to you, too. Welcome back. Tonight is a very exciting stream, and sort of a bittersweet stream, kind of, because we still have one more for the year, but this is our last Shark of the year. Next week is going to be the holiday special. So it's going to be a special episode with our good friend Jess Myers. So she will be joining us for a cool surprise as far as our shark stuff goes. But this is the last species of the year. What's up, Sir Douglas Bain? Welcome back. Yeah, we're doing the leopard shark tonight, and we'll also be kind of like going over, I think, just 2023 in general, as far as like reflections go, and yeah, just kind of how the year turned out, which it's been awesome. This first year of the stream has been wonderful, but we'll get into that more later. But hope you guys had a good weekend, and hope you guys have been doing some fun holiday things. It is definitely getting cold down here in Virginia, so we are in the 30s, 40s, which for Virginia is pretty cold, and 30s, 40s Fahrenheit, and I don't know what that is in Celsius off the top of my head. But anyway, hope you guys are doing well. Howard, thank you so much for submitting this awesome leopard shark drawing. And this is such a good species to kind of close the year on, you know, because it's such an iconic, charismatic shark that is also still unique as far as like not everybody knows what a leopard shark is. It is much more popular, of course, and famous on the Pacific coast of North America than the Atlantic coast. It's a super cool Pacific species that is harmless. It's a cousin of the dusky smoothhound, or I think the taupe shark is also a triakid, so let me make sure I got that right. But it's a really cool group that is like, they're called hound sharks or weasel sharks because like they have like kind of like more like slender bodies. They kind of like stick close to the bottom, and some, I think, less colorful species are sometimes termed dogfish, but that's inaccurate. But this particular species is arguably one of the most beautiful of the triakids out there. Yeah, it's going to be really cool to dive into it more tonight. But thank you so much, Howard, for including a leopard shark with a really cool kelp forest background and the shovel-nose guitarfish. So, and I think you did a great job with the pattern too, because that really just nails like what the pattern is as far as this species. So we've got a lot of cool footage to go through tonight, and a couple really cool papers. Hey, Minjas, welcome back. Glad to see you. And yeah, this is a special stream where it is the leopard shark, but is also kind of like a little bit of reflections. And it's the second to last stream of the year. So yeah, I'm really, really excited to go into it. So I think we can probably get started. Well, actually, before we do, I do have to I have one more kind of surprise as far as next week being the holiday special. I think, you know, this whole year has been fantastic as far as art goes and as far as like shark art goes, and we've had a couple different contests. I think Sir Douglas and Minjas, you might have missed these at the beginning of the year, but these have been like really cool. Like we've done like theme contests, and some of them we've done like prize contests. But I think to kind of celebrate the holiday special for next week, you know, it would be kind of cool to do a thumbnail art for just kind of wrapping up 2023, like a special holiday Christmas Dr. Jaws Live shark art for next week's special. So if you want to just submit a piece, please feel free to do that. Let me pull up the Dr. Jaws website. Hold on. Dun, 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 dun. So basically, feel free. It's pretty freeform, but anything that's like kind of holiday themed and shark themed and with an emphasis of biodiversity, please feel free to submit. If you wanted to create some art, please feel free to submit it, and we will feature it on the special, and it may be the thumbnail for the episode. So, for your art piece, please visit www.drjaws.net and just submit your piece, and we'll go from there. So, but let me go over to some leopard shark footage. Let's see. But Yeah, it's kind of weird, like thinking about like it's been a whole year, like doing this, and it's like again, I feel like this is kind of like a bittersweet episode because it's our last actual shark, and I'm really glad that next week we'll do kind of more of like a celebratory, like you know, goofing off of Jess and kind of recapping the whole year in a fun way. But from this piece of footage, this is from wildlife photographer named Sean Palmer. This is a really cool shot of a leopard shark swimming very close to it, by the way. This has been always kind of like a dream of mine to like snorkel with these species. There's a couple spots in Mexico and California that you can go to and spend some time with this particular species. They are harmless, and again, being like a triachid, their dentition is not really more so for like fish or like slicing. It's kind of usually many triachids have like crushing plates and like flat teeth. I know Muscellus has like crushing plates, but I'm kind of curious if this genus Triakis has something similar. But one thing I love about this group is that even though they're these long, slender sharks, they still have these pretty prominent fins, like dorsal and pectoral fins. So it's kind of like a bottom-dwelling shark, but kind of with like more of a dramatic fin structure. Like it's not these low-riding fins that you would kind of associate with slow swimmers. It's a little bit more pronounced. So, but beautiful color pattern. And again, Howard, thank you so much for your art, because like I love how you got the dark blotches, but like the myriad of spots in between the blotches. So very cool species. This footage is a little shaky, so we could probably jump over in a little bit to, there's some firmer shots from like Monterey Bay Aquarium that I pulled up that we can take a look at tonight. One thing I do think is interesting is all this growth on this particular individual, and I'm not sure how much of that is parasites or how much of that is something else going on. As far as the, like, see these like weird like green, that weird green coating. Let me hold on, go back here, because again this is kind of shaky. Oops. Get like a better shot of that. Like right there. I'm curious what this is, because it's like, I mean, it could be. You would think it's parasites, but it's kind of like it almost looks like algae, which is kind of odd to see on, it's a comparatively faster, like, even though it's a shark that sticks close to the bottom, it's by no means a slow species. So I don't know. I'm kind of curious like what that might be. But anyway, let's switch to kind of like a cleaner view of this shark that's a little bit firmer, or not firmer, but like a stable shot, so you can get a better view of what the shark looks like. So there we go. This is Monterey Bay Aquarium, and that's actually a much better view of Triakis semifascata. Also, just for fun, I have some holiday Nintendo music or video game music on in the background, so I hope that's coming through pretty okay. Because I think with next week with Jess, I probably won't have music. It's going to be kind of more like a podcasty style. So last little bit of music for the year, though. But has anybody been to the Monterey Bay Aquarium? Because I haven't, but I would love to go someday. I've heard so much about this aquarium. Oh, come on, there we go. I've heard so much about this aquarium and the way they handled their exhibits. This is like obviously an enormous tank, and they have like there's a couple exhibits where they have like an influx of like fresh seawater and like a seawall. So it sounds super cool. I love that prominent lateral line, by the way. So this is, of course, the part of a shark, and all fishes have a lateral line too that feels the vibrations in the water. So whenever there's something swimming in the water column, the shark can sense it as water molecules are pushing against they're like pressure sensors. Like as water molecules push against the lateral line, when something is moving in water and displacing in water, the shark can sense it. It's one of the many senses it has to kind of better locate prey as it gets closer and closer to its target. So, super cool. You can switch to, this is kind of a cool view. I'm not really sure which aquarium this is, but bunch of leopard sharks here. So what's kind of cool about Triakis is that I feel like it's a little bit more robust than Muscellus. Muscellus is more of like the slender smooth hounds, and these kinds of, like the Triakis genus, I feel like is kind of like a little bit girthier, a little bit kind of getting closer and closer to like not like the Carcharodontidae, but kind of getting closer to like more of like a robust body form. So I'm very curious to see like what kind of like, as far as its niche goes and what kind of prey items it ingests, or like what kind of prey it goes after. You know, how it's evolved, like why it's evolved the shape that it's evolved. So catching up on the comments, by the way. So let's see. This is a good question, Minjus. I was gonna ask, can algae grow on sharks? I actually don't know. It's so strange to me. You think, like, every time I think about algae, I know like the ocean has algae, but like I think about, as far as algae growth, you think of freshwater environments, not really saltwater environments. So it's a really good question. I don't think I've really seen that before. I've definitely seen parasites of all the different kinds, like copepods and such, but like I've never really seen algae. So be kind of curious to see, maybe as we go through the research, what we can find out about that. So, and then, whoops, sorry about that. I just noticed Sir Douglas Bain been to Monterey Aquarium. How'd you like it? Yeah, please let me know, because it's like I've always wanted to go. So. This is San Diego Zoo. Pretty different looking tank, but. And this was really cool. I haven't heard of this place, but I guess there's a place called San Diego's Shark Alley, where if you take a look, I mean, like, it's shallow water and it's like just swarming and teeming with leopard sharks. And again, these are harmless shark species. So this is like a dream, just like being able to go here and spend time with these sharks, where it's like you can just go snorkeling in shallow water, and not worry about an incident. So I saw this once a long time ago, like when I was like a kid. I think it was like probably like a Discovery Channel special, and it just like really blew me away as far as like just something that you can do. Let's skip ahead past the interview. Just want to focus more on the shark. Again, it's kind of cool to see in the wild they are definitely sticking close to the bottom, so cruising very, very close to the bottom. And what's kind of cool is like as far as like the head shape goes, it's kind of cool to see that like and a lot of smooth hounds are like this as well, where it's like it's not like a rounded head or like a conical head like great white sharks or like salmon sharks like we saw last week. Like it's kind of more of like sloping to like a flat base, so which I feel like kind of complements a sandy bottom substrate environment pretty well. Just want to skip past the human stuff because I just want to see more of the shark stuff. But can you imagine just like being here with these guys? This is so cool. I mean, that's not even, in some cases, that probably isn't even a foot of water, or 2 feet of water. Like, just like swimming like freely with like hundreds of leopard sharks. So, skipping ahead. Definitely a good shark vacation destination. San Diego's Shark Alley. I definitely will have to check that out someday. You know, because as far as I know, I don't think we have anything remotely like this on the East Coast. Just between areas where the water is very murky, or you know, just like in the north where it's very clear. Well, I mean, I guess you have like Florida, but I don't think there's a specific shark designated place in Florida. There are like seagrass beds that probably have like a lot of site fidelity with like nurse sharks, but nothing like this as far as I know. So super cool place. So speaking of Florida, let's check out Florida Museum. As far as leopard shark goes, this is always like a really good profile. As far as like it's a very good, like, I would say Florida Museum has been like the Wikipedia of shark stuff, where it's like if you need a quick glimpse of information, it's a good place to go. I know kind of back in the day, a lot of marine researchers, like fishery scientists, would use this website in particular for just like a quick check on shark information, at least for like American species. So it'll be kind of cool to take a look at this. So, oh cool. So Douglas Bay was pretty fun, lots to look at. Awesome. Oh my gosh, Minjas, totally agree. Being able to see them all hanging out in such large numbers would be so cool. I would love it. I totally love it. So, I remember I used to work at the Virginia Institute of Marine Science, and they have an Eastern Shore lab, and there was one project one year where they had like a tank of sharks, of juvenile sharks, like juvenile dusky sharks, that they were conducting a really cool study where they were testing magnets and magnet sensitivity with juvenile dusky sharks, and like in order to kind of place the magnets, you could get it into the tank, and like I wasn't at the level where I could do that. Like I wasn't the primary researcher, so it's like, but I was like begging them, can I please get in the tank? Can I please just step in with the sharks? I just want to sit there and like be with them. But I think they were like, nah, like we don't want to disturb them more than they should be disturbed. So, which is fair, but yeah, the point being, I would love shark immersion. I've been diving a couple times. As far as like, one cool thing is like some of the aquariums, like the North Carolina aquarium, they will let you dive in their shark tank. Actually, I think a lot of aquariums do that. Baltimore Aquarium does that as well, where they like, you can actually swim with the sharks in the tank. It's kind of like a cool behind the scenes program. So yeah. Cool way to spend time with sharks, whether or not you're close to the ocean. So, but leopard shark from Florida Museum. Let's see. Long slim shark likes the sandy bottoms of bays or estuaries in the eastern Pacific Ocean. Let's see. Distinct black saddle marks in the back and sides. Can grow up to 6 feet long, so pretty good size. Because of the high mercury content of its flesh, there are warnings about consuming the shark. So that's actually pretty interesting because, like, it's higher in the trophic level, but you probably wouldn't expect this to be like an apex predator. But still, it is kind of interesting that sharks, like it's like the large sharks are well, actually, I guess any shark is associated with high mercury content because, they are getting close to the top of the food chain, and like the more that they eat, like the more prams that they eat, like the more they can accumulate the mercury that the prey has. So, but that's interesting that I don't think we've seen a warning associated with a specific species, and here we go, high mercury content warning for a leopard shark. So common names: leopard shark, leopard cat shark. That is a terrible name because like cat sharks are completely different, so they're in a different family altogether, so that's confusing. But I like leopard shark, just sticking with that. Let's see. Commercial and sports fishermen harvest the leopard shark. The shark is used primarily as a food source and is sold both fresh and frozen. Not dangerous at all. There's a single report of an incident involving a human and a leopard shark. Let's see. No significant damage to the victim, no bite was involved. However, leopard sharks do contain, oh, here it is again, high levels of mercury and should not be consumed regularly, as per warnings of the California Department of Fish and Game. So, It's kind of interesting that the mercury thing again it's like showing up again, but it's under the danger to humans category. It's kind of like you would think, all the sensationalism, it's all about shark bites, but it's like, no, it's actually shark flesh. So let's see. It's interesting that for this article, oh, there we go. I was going to say, this article is saying it's potentially threatened by overfishing, but the IUCN Red List classifies leopard shark as least concern, so it seems to be doing okay. It's also a nice shark to end the year on, as far as like, we've had a pretty good mix this year, actually, I feel like we've had critically endangered sharks and sharks that are not doing so well. And yet we've also had quite a few species that are doing fine, which I think is very encouraging from a conservation standpoint. The first one that comes to mind is the Port Jackson shark, which is so, like, at home in its rocky reef environment where it just avoids fishing hooks, and it doesn't really, like, all fishermen, like, most fishermen who catch the Port Jackson shark just are like, they throw it back. It's least concern. It's nice to see leopard shark is least concern. A lot of the deep water sharks are least concern. It's encouraging to see that there's quite a mix as far as sharks that are doing well and sharks that are doing poorly. So, but management of the species in recent years is thought to have protected the core population of the species in waters off California and Oregon. The status of stocks in Mexico or off Mexico is currently unknown. Oh, here we go. So it does have the least concern status from IUCN. Leopard sharks have a relatively narrow range, so they're from Oregon to Mexico. I believe there was a weird, like an anomaly of a leopard shark in Samish Bay, Washington. I don't know if I'm saying that right. So I think as an anomaly, they have been spotted in Washington State. Let's make sure I got that right. I know IUCN Red List. Right close to the border. It looks like IUCN Red List is not including Washington in the range, but I thought there was one leopard shark sighting. But it was a weird one. It was like an anomaly in Washington. So, but it's cool to see. It covers Oregon, California, Baja California, and kind of stops there, which is kind of an interesting range when you think about it. Let's see. Leopard shark is most commonly found in sandy or muddy bays and estuaries either at or near the bottom. Most commonly encountered in 20 feet, 6 meters of water, but has been sighted up to 94 meters deep. That's still really, really shallow. Like, that is a really, really shallow range. And it's cool to see that even so, like, even though it's in this environment with the most human impact, it's doing okay. So, leopard sharks seem to prefer cool and warm temperate waters. Let's see. It's kind of interesting little comment. The leopard shark could possibly have been mistaken for the swell shark, which is reddish brown and has a flattened head. I could see that from a distance, but I feel like the fins give it away as far as like, and I think just the profile. I mean, it's definitely, swell sharks are more like flat and lanky, and like this is there's more. I feel like this is more of like a robust looking species. Like it's a little more getting closer to like what the classic shark look is. So this is interesting. Check this out. Research has indicated that the erythrocytes, red blood cells, okay, you could say red blood cells, but of the leopard shark are more diminutive and numerous than those of its relatives, the brown smoothhound and the gray smoothhound. This could theoretically provide the leopard shark with an edge over its chief competitors in estuarine environments by allowing the leopard shark to more easily absorb oxygen from the water. So that's really cool. Especially since estuaries, so dissolved oxygen in estuaries is it's a pretty big deal. Estuaries, like I live in the Chesapeake Bay watershed, And we famously have dead zones. I think this year we actually had the smallest dead zone in decades, which is actually really cool. It's nice to see that some management and conservation efforts are paying off. But we famously have dead zones where it's complicated how it works, but it's like if you the runoff from like surrounding farmland that has like fertilizer, like things that kind of like help like their crops grow, like if surrounding farmland has those kind of products and chemicals leaking into the watershed, they can cause an algal bloom, and the algal bloom takes up all the oxygen, like all the, like the little phytoplankton and algae, like block sunlight from reaching the bottom, but also like they take up a lot of oxygen and they create an anoxic or near anoxic environment, which creates a dead zone. And so estuaries, because they're receiving so much freshwater input, and estuaries near population centers that maybe are receiving a lot of like weird nutrient input, they're at a higher risk of having dead zones or environments where the oxygen is low. And so it's kind of cool to see that this whole thing about leopard sharks having a adaptation that allows them to more easily absorb oxygen in water. It's kind of cool to see that, where it's like, yeah, that is actually very helpful in an estuarine environment, because dead zones happen, and more often in estuaries. And it's kind of a cool thing where it's like, this is a special adaptation that the leopard shark can use to enter estuary environments and access prey that the brown smoothhound or the gray smoothhound can't get. So that's actually really cool. I had no idea that was a thing with this species. So, ooh, this is cool. The leopard shark is a strong swimmer, and it often forms large nomadic schools that sometimes include brown smoothhounds, gray smoothhounds, and spiny dogfish. So this is probably outdated. So this would be the Pacific spiny dogfish, Squalus sucklei. So I think that is an outdated citation, because I think in the past decade the two species, Squalus acanthius and Squalus sucklei, were separated. Still, it's really cool to see kind of like a mixed school of sharks. It happens, but I don't think we see it happen too often. So it's kind of cool to see a mix of like leopard sharks, brown smoothhounds, gray smoothhounds, and Pacific spiny dogfish. Very cool. Let me catch up on some comments. Oh, Sir Douglas Bay, why do some fish have high mercury content? Where is the mercury coming from? So, good question. That's actually a really good question. Because it's like, as far as the original source goes, I'm not 100% sure, because like phytoplankton do not have mercury, like just being so small and absorbing, as far as I know, like being so small and absorbing sunlight directly. But like, actually, you know what? Let's look that up. Because like as far as like, mercury accumulation, like a lot of little fish will carry little amounts of mercury. But let's look that up, because that should be easy to find. That's a very good question. Alright, let's just go Vermont Department of Environmental Conservation. I'll take it. Okay. Okay, once in a lake or river, mercury is converted to methylmercury by bacteria and other processes. Fish absorb methylmercury from the food and from water as it passes over the gills. Mercury is tightly bound to proteins in all fish tissue, including muscle. There's no method of cooking or cleaning fish that will reduce the amount of mercury in a meal. Methylmercury accumulates as you move up the food chain. Methylmercury in the water and sediment is taken up by tiny animals and plants known as plankton. I was wrong, so plankton can get it. Wow. Small fishes eat large quantities of plankton over time. Large predatory fish consume many smaller fish, accumulating methylmercury in their tissues. The older and larger the fish, the greater potential for high mercury levels in their bodies. Makes sense. Fish are caught and eaten by humans and animals, causing methylmercury to accumulate in their tissues. So, let's see. So the root of your question, though, is how is the mercury getting into the watershed to begin with? Because once it's there, that process makes sense as far as like the bioaccumulation. But and it's kind of cool. You can see here other commercially available fish such as shark, swordfish, and fresh or frozen tuna generally have higher mercury concentrations, because they're like higher up in the food chain. But I think the heart of your question is like, how is mercury getting into the environment to begin with? So let's see. Mercury could be high toxic mercury. Because I want to know the source of mercury contamination. I promise I won't spend too much time on this, but it's a really good question. Yeah. Interesting. Oh, this is actually really useful. So this is kind of a cool advisory card for both fish that if you're fishing and cooking the fish that you catch, and then also fish that you buy in the grocery store. So this is actually really cool, where you can see. So shellfish are more basal in the food chain. They have lower risk of mercury. Like as far as fish you catch, pumpkin seed, trout, these are a bit lower in the food chain too. Pike are higher in the food chain. They're famous freshwater predators. Pickerel, walleye. As far as the grocery store goes, shellfish is low, salmon is low, flatfish, which is like bottom-dwelling flounders, that eat just like invertebrates or tiny fish. But then it's kind of wild to see like, tuna, shark, swordfish, top-level predators so high. Let's see. That's very useful. So this is a great website as far as bioaccumulation, but this wasn't really telling us the source of it. So, see if there's something else. You know what? Let's just say a nice hello to Wikipedia really quick. Okay, nice. There we go. Nearby anthropogenic sources such as coal burning and iron mining can contaminate water sources with methylmercury. Okay, so like that. So that makes sense as far as sources go. Origins of mercury pollution. Here we go. There are 3 types of mercury emission: anthropogenic, re-emission, and natural, including volcanoes and geothermal vents. Coal burning, cement production, oil refining, gold mining, waste from consumer products, dental amalgam, alkali industry, production of vinyl chloride, and the mining, smelting, and production of iron. Interesting. Okay, so this is yeah. So that's actually really interesting. So as far as this is where it comes from, and we took a look at how it accumulates. So yeah. So I hope that answers your question, but I think like yeah, that was a really good question. I really appreciate you bringing that up, because it is a pretty significant concern as far as sharks. And actually, honestly, like it's like we just saw, it's not just a shark thing. It's a fish thing in general as far as that goes. So very interesting. But let's see. Let's try to find my place. I think we were on. And also, sorry. So Douglas Bain, let me go ahead and star your question, because that was a really cool question. And once again, this is one of my favorite things, kind of reflecting about the stream. Each episode we have a shark, but we can meander no matter what, because like, you know, everything is interconnected as far as science goes, and like we've had a lot of cool stuff this year, particularly with fossil sharks. Fossil evolution has been super fun. I think one of the biggest things I've learned this year was the difference, or like the split between the megalodon line and the white shark line, and that a great white shark is actually potentially like a chonky, super evolved mako shark. So it's like mako-like sharks and megalodon-like sharks split from each other a long time ago, and then there was a certain group of mako sharks that slowly began to become more and more like carcharodon, like a great white. So super cool. Never really knew that. And also, please feel free to comment, like on your, you know, some of your favorite moments this year, because like, and like favorite parts of, just kind of like, you know, just the stream, or favorite species that we covered this year. Please feel free to leave a comment, because I feel like for like tonight's stream and next week's stream, it's a good time for reflection, because we'll be, you know, we're saying a fond farewell to 2023. So. Oh, dentition. Leopard sharks produce tooth sets that form overlapping ridges between different tooth flows. The resulting effect is a large flattened ridge surface in the upper and lower jaws. Pavement tooth. Okay, so this is just like dusky smoothhounds. So where it's like leopard sharks have these like flat teeth that are excellent for crushing shellfish. So that's actually really cool. And that actually also makes sense that this is like, you know, in a lot of the footage we've seen, the shark is like sticking close to the bottom. So its favorite prey items are probably like clams, you know, buried in the sand, or you know, like marine snails or whelks, like things that, you know, are going to be close to the bottom anyway, like in a benthic zone. That's actually really cool that the teeth kind of match with the behavior a bit. Here we go. Yeah, I should have scrolled ahead. Like, leopard sharks feed primarily on benthic invertebrates and small fish, crabs, shrimp, octopi. Fat innkeeper worms? I have never heard of that. The fat innkeeper worm. Wow. Hold on. We gotta look that up. What a name. It's not just a worm. It's not just the innkeeper worm. It's the fat innkeeper worm. What in the world is this? Oh, that is... Okay. That's, Oh, yeah, you know what? Let's skip that. I just took a brief look at that article, and I'm like, yep, okay. I get it. Some scientists are funny. Clam siphons, fish such as midshipmen, sand dabs, shiner perch, bat rays. Bat rays? Oh. That's interesting. Wow. Okay, check this out. So here's a picture of a bat ray in the bottom right corner. So leopard sharks apparently eat bat rays. That's actually pretty cool to see. I'm a bit surprised by that, but, well. Smoothhounds. Leopard sharks eat smoothhounds. Wow. So they must be, like, maybe going after... There's probably, like, very large leopard sharks going after probably quite small smoothhounds. Variety of fish eggs as well. Leopard sharks have been known to mutilate their prey, taking only parts of the animals they ingest, leaving the rest. Wow. For example, a number of clam siphons have been found in multiple specimens of leopard shark. However, a body of a consumed clam has not been reported to be found. Wow. This is kind of a dark-sided leopard shark. Female leopard sharks are ovoviviparous. That's interesting. So that means they lay... Like, they don't lay an egg. There's eggs inside the body, but the eggs hatch inside the body, and the shark essentially gives live birth. But it's not true live birth. So one of the many amazing things about sharks is the three modes of reproduction. The fact that sharks, even though it's one group of these amazing creatures, it's three completely different modes of reproduction. Some lay eggs and are oviparous. Some do what I just described, where they have eggs hatching inside the body, and then the pups are later birthed, so that's ovoviviparous. And then some sharks truly have live birth, where it's like even to the point where they have like a placenta or placental connection, and that's viviparous. So yeah, it's pretty amazing that sharks are diverse in that way. So gestation period of shark is between 10 and 12 months, and birth usually occurs between April and May. Predators are marine mammals. I think there's a famous picture of a seal eating a leopard shark, or a sea lion. Sorry, sea lion eating a leopard shark. And both juveniles and adults are vulnerable to large fish, including the white shark. So, let's see. Triakis. The scientific name Triakis is derived from the Greek word translated to three-pointed, referring to the shark's three-pointed teeth. While the species name semifascata means half-banded, describing the distinctive markings found on the shark. Awesome. So that's a great scientific name, actually. We love scientific names that actually describe the animal as opposed to being named after some person. You know, so like sometimes it's a good thing to honor. You know, like a famous researcher. Like there's a lot of fish named after Bigelow and Schroeder, and aptly so. But honestly, like the best names are the ones that actually refer to the animal and talk about a feature of the animal. So, but yeah, yeah. I just saw the comments. Yeah, we do not like that. Like or not. Yeah, it is disturbing. I agree, Howard. It's disturbing that the prey item of the leopard shark. So, oh, Minjas. My favorite moment this year was finding the channel. I only showed up about a week ago, but I'm excited to learn more about sharks. Awesome. And like we're gonna be back. We are gonna be back next year with a lot more species. We covered 53. This is our 53rd shark this year, and there's 500. I've always been used to saying 514, but like that has definitely expanded. The cool thing about sharks and shark science. It seems like almost every year there's a new species. And in fact, we can actually probably check it out. Weirdly enough, again, I know it's really important to be cautious around Wikipedia. I know it's like list of sharks. I know it's important to be cautious around Wikipedia, but Wikipedia, for whoever knows why, has a really fascinating list of sharks that kind of is the most comprehensive and sometimes is like the most up to date. Let's test this out really quick. Okay, there we go. Yeah. So for example, we got a species from 2021. We got two species from 2022. We don't have anything from 2023, but let's look at the 2022 sharks. Curiosity. But this list, it's really cool. And again, it's probably not perfect because it's not 512. It's definitely more than 512 species. But as far as the internet goes, the list of sharks in Wikipedia is pretty damn comprehensive. So, but let's look at some 2022 sharks. Because I'm sure this is going to be updated. Like, page was last edited on December 4th, 2023. I'm sure this is going to be updated later. Because it takes a while to name a species. But anyway, we could actually take a look. Let's maybe take a look at the past decade. Because the point I was about to make was it feels like every year there's a new shark. So if you look at 2013, I see 7 species. 2014, 2 species. If you look at the... oh, you can't see this, I think, because I have my silly... sorry. Well, I have my holiday party thing up there. Here we go. So 2013 we had 7 species. A saw shark, an epaulette shark, a cat shark, another cat shark, the Carolina hammerhead, very important, a saw shark. I'll just summarize the total on the top right corner that I'm seeing. 2014 had 2 species, 2015 had 6, 2016 had 1, 2017 had 0, 2018 had 1, 2019 had 0, 2020 had 0, 2021 had 1, the short-crested angel shark. Let's take a look at that. Squatina mapama is a species that was just described only 2 years ago. So, brand new shark species. So again, my point being is like, there's still so much to discover with sharks. There's, you know, I feel like sharks are so charismatic and they get so much coverage, like in nature specials and, you know, like famously Shark Week. that it feels like, oh, we've learned everything that we could possibly learn, and that is so far from the truth. Like, there's just so much that we don't know. There's so many parts of the ocean that we don't know still, and there's so much as far as the field of genetics that we don't know, as far as like being able to identify shark species genetically. 2022 we had 2 species. The Philippines sawtail cat shark. Not a flattering picture, but still brand new species. And oh, sorry about that. The cinder cloudy cat shark. Ooh, that's a beautiful species. This is also a brand new shark, so just known to science last year. So super, super cool. So yeah, the point being, as far as I know, the stream is never gonna end. Like we're gonna have, if I'm doing math right, what is that? 10 years? Like if we do this diligently, hold on, 514 divided by 53. That's about 10 years. It's about 10 years if we do this diligently. So, yeah. So a lot of streams to come is the point. So, beautiful new shark species though. So, my personal favorites, and I'll leave these in the comments as well. So, oh, sorry about the audio being fuzzy. So, oh, cool. Yeah, Mint just really cool comment. It's almost perfectly equivalent to the 3 mammalian forms. It's so interesting. Yeah, this is a really good point, because for mammals, obviously there's live birth, but then you have things like the echidna. Like the echidna lays eggs, I believe, and the platypus lay eggs as well. So, oh, thank you. Excited for the 2023 holiday special. Shark discoveries are picking back up, is what I'm hearing. Yes. So I think the field of genetics in particular has been a big thing, as far as like the Carolina hammerhead is a really cool example. But then also like the last 3 sharks that we saw, those are like legitimately brand new species, like areas that may have not been sampled as extensively as before. So Carolina hammerhead was genetically separated from the scalped hammerhead. The Pacific spiny dogfish was genetically separated from the spiny dogfish, like the classic Atlantic one. Yeah, I mean, there's still room to discover more species, because, like, I mean, this individual has nothing to do with genetics. This is like, oh, this is an area that wasn't sampled before, as well. So, and then deep sea science. Like, there's still so many areas with like deep sea sharks. Like so many parts of like the deep sea that we have still, it's just, if you want to be a shark scientist, I think it's still definitely like a fine field to study, especially since I think one of the biggest things that we've discussed on this stream is there's a lot of sharks, and some including some species that are in conservation trouble that need more research. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to cover as far as sharks are concerned. So, and it's nice to kind of have that in juxtaposition to, I kind of feel like charismatic megafauna, like, the great white or the hammerheads or the tiger shark, like, it sometimes gives off this impression that, like, oh, we kind of know everything we need to know about sharks, and the reality is no, there's still so much to discover. So. But I do want to... Oh, hey, Howard. I was going to do the same thing. So let me star that. For me, it would be the tiger shark, the short-fin mako shark, and the salmon shark. All excellent picks. Tiger shark stream was super cool. That was when we had Jess on. And that was actually really amazing, because that had... actually, yeah, you know what? Let's take a peek at the channel, because I think that would be kind of fun to do. Really quick. I know this is a little self-indulgent, but I do want to take a peek, because it's been an exciting year. Let's look at live, or we can actually look at how it's organized, because I do like the so tiger shark. That one was with Jess over here, and that was super cool. Not only just to have Jess on, but also to learn more about like how tiger sharks were recently reclassified into their own family. Like Galiocerdo is now Galiocertidae. It's not a carcharodonid anymore. It's reclassified into Galiocertidae because the reproductive mode, like how tiger sharks like do their, I think it was their placental connection. Like there's something about the tiger shark reproductive mode that is just wildly different from carcharodonids. So that blows my mind because I always grew up thinking that they're in the same group, but really it's its own family. So that was a super cool one. The short fin mako. Let's go back here. Where is that? There he is. Short fin mako was super cool because we got a lot of great footage of the mako shark like hunting. Howard, your art was amazing in that, and I think it's my favorite piece. As far as this year. So. And we'll feature it next week. I'm very excited to kind of go over everything. One of my favorites was the basking shark stream. It was one of the earliest ones, but there's this amazing clip of the basking shark. And this is the basking shark, like the 40-foot like giant, right, breaching out of the water. Which I had no idea that they could do that. Like, I had no idea they could breach. I know white sharks breach, but, like, I never heard of basking sharks breaching. And to think that this, giant of a shark can actually do that is just, like, it blew my mind. So, honestly, this year, 2023, I think it's been a really good mackerel shark year. Because if you look in the lamniforms, we covered a lot of biodiversity. We got basking shark, sand tiger, the crocodile shark, which is kind of a rare species, thresher shark, poor beagle, big eye sand tiger, like awesome, like deep water, creepy species, the megamouth even, and then most recently the salmon shark, and the goblin shark. So we have I think 2023 is kind of the year of the lamniforms, honestly. And even like, I think we've talked about like white shark and megalodon lineages a lot this year. We've had a lot of cool fossil moments this year. That I honestly think 2023 was kind of like the year of the lamniforms. So, super cool to kind of go over that. Taking a brief look at ornitholobiforms, a lot of great bangers here. We had Connor join us for the nurse shark, which is super fun. We have the famous whale shark as well, plus a couple wobegons, bamboo sharks, the zebra shark, and the Michael's epaulet shark. Squaliforms was really fun because we had a lot of creepy sharks. Although we did have this cute angular rough shark, which is adorable. But when we got closer to like October, like we had the cookie cutter shark, the ninja lantern shark, the mandarin dogfish, the Pacific sleeper, and of course the pocket shark, which is I finally got over it, which is great. Like pocket shark was a shark that like used to creep me out quite a bit, but pretty good diversity, pretty fun season. You can actually tell in the bottom left corner, like the background is orange for Halloween too. Like, I like decorating. So, and then finally, as far as like the playlist goes, I know we have many more sharks like saw sharks and angel sharks. But as far as like orders that we've covered a lot of, the big one, we had a lot of carcharodoniforms with bull sharks and dusky smoothhounds, the bonnethead shark. Of course, Howard, your favorite, the snaggletooth shark, Hemipristis. So that was another really cool early one. We had the speartooth shark, Glyphis. So this is a very rare group of river sharks. So if you thought the bull shark was the only species that enters fresh water, it's not. There's actually a couple other species in the genus Glyphis that also have that ability, which is pretty cool. The great hammerhead, the sicklefin lemon, the blacktip reef shark. So far, our most popular species has been... Hold on. Interestingly enough, and it was kind of cool, like, I think as like an end-of-the-year recap, our channel is microscopic but mighty. We have 189 subscribers, which I'm super proud of, and I'm super happy to share the space with you guys. You guys have been awesome. This channel's actually grown a lot, even though that's still like even though it's a small number, that's still actually kind of wild growth compared to last year. So I think this has been a really fun project, and it's been fun meeting a lot of cool different people and just talking about sharks together. The most popular species has been the gulper shark, Or the top, I guess the top four have been the gulper shark, the angular rough shark, the bull shark, because I think it's episode 1, and then the crocodile shark. So I think these guys don't get a lot of attention, which is why I think they're kind of like getting higher in the algorithm. And then the bull shark, I think it's episode 1. So that's enough for the channel as far as like me kind of taking a look at it. But it's been really cool to see like how this year has been and kind of all the different shark species that we've covered. So more to come. Oh, of course, the winghead shark. Yeah. I gotta make sure that's in Carchariniforms. I have to double check that later. So, but super, super cool year as far as like, look at all these guys that we covered. Pretty fun. So, but let's go back to our leopard shark. I definitely want to give it its fair due. So, as far as conservation goes, we know it's least concern. I do want to just take a quick peek at to why it's doing okay. So, oh, thanks, Minjas. It's not self-indulgent. It's just reviewing the year. Thank you. I appreciate that. And you know what? I'm gonna just add basking shark. I think basking shark might be my favorite episode so far. That was a really fun moment that just kind of blew my mind. And then I'm gonna type in eDNA, like the environmental DNA thing. That was a field that I didn't know. I didn't know that existed, where it's like you can like take a sample water column and then get DNA from it. Like it's like that still blows my mind. I think I mentioned this last week too. I was catching up with a science friend of mine, and he was like, "Yep, that is a real thing." So it was really cool to kind of hear him talk about it. Yeah. Oh, and then white shark versus Carcharini's ancestry or evolution, or white shark versus megatooth shark evolution. Those, I'm just leaving those as like, I think those are probably some of my favorite. And of course, meeting all of you. Like, those, I think, have been my favorite things about this year. Seriously, this has been really cool. And then, I think, before we get back to leopard shark, my last little comment is, like, I have these, like, little flag icons in the bottom left corner. We have the great nations of the United States and Canada, as far as, like, our stream audience. I would love for 2024 to add more countries. I hope next year, my secret hope is that we have some Australian viewers, because Australia's been really cool as far as shark conservation goes. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. So, but it's been really cool that I'm very happy that this is not just something in my home country that's like, you know, I've learned a lot of Canadian things, honestly, like between like Canadian Thanksgiving and also just like how much more effective Canadian measurement is because it's metric versus American metric, like, or Americans not having metric. Like, I love America, but it's a horrible system. like we have feet and yards and pounds, and it just doesn't make any sense. So, but anyway, so yeah, there's so much more to say. I don't want to spend too much time because I do want to get back to leopard shark, but like we'll come back to this a little bit later because it is like the reflection episode. But it's been an amazing year with you guys, so I'm gonna just raise a glass. Cheers to that. Alright, let's see. So leopard shark is very common along the Pacific coast of North America. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Ranging from Washington to Mazatlan, Mexico, including the Gulf of California. So that's funny. The range map does not have Washington on here, but the profile for the leopard shark includes Washington. So I think, yeah, I guess that was a verifiable record. Let's see. Oh, interesting. They appear to exhibit limited long-distance movement, and as a result, it is thought that the population consists of 3 regional population clusters in Northern California, Southern California, and Mexico with limited genetic exchange. Now, that's really interesting to me, given that these regions are right next to each other. And so you have to wonder, why is there limited exchange? Like what? And I frankly don't know the West Coast as well, as far as like, are there barriers between these regions as far as like, is there a shift in currents, or are there underwater features that kind of might separate populations, like not seamounts, but like on the East Coast, our ecoregions are split up by where the Gulf Stream is, or like where like certain banks are that create pretty meaningful divisions. So yeah, I'm kind of curious about that as far as why there's 3 different populations or regional clusters of leopard sharks. So if anyone has any guesses, or if anyone has any insight, please leave a comment, because I'm very curious about that. So. So Douglas Payne, Americans tried to convert to metric, but when they tried to bring over some standard measurements, it got stolen by pirates. Oh man, is that true? Is that like I mean, I'm kind of a gullible person, but actually that sounds kind of like, is that true? That's actually pretty cool, and tragic too. Like, because if that is true, those pirates have impacted the country drastically, like for the worst. So like, it's like, oh my gosh, that's incredible. Wow. Pirates! Oh man, that's crazy. Like, I did not know that, actually, and that is tragic. That is such an echo throughout history. Damn. Thank you, pirates. You've screwed up our system. So we're like we're incongruous with everybody else. It sucks. Like, the metric system is so much better. It just makes more sense. Like, it's just in base 10. It's sorry. I started out the year kind of like complaining about it, but like, it's full circle. Now I'm ending the year complaining about it, because it's just like, it just makes more sense. And Celsius versus Fahrenheit. Celsius, 0 degrees, you're freezing. 100 degrees, you're boiling. Fahrenheit, it's like 30 something. I don't even know what it is. And it's just like, pirates. Anyway. In California, where nearly all the U.S. harvest occurs, leopard shark is taken primarily by recreational anglers, although it's also caught incidentally in commercial fisheries. It's also harvested for the cold water aquarium trade and has been highly prized for its distinctive markings and hardiness. Interesting. So, I think it's interesting to see the sharks that do well in aquariums versus the sharks that don't do well, as far as like, I think the champions as far as aquariums go are like sand tigers, sandbar sharks, nurse sharks are huge in aquariums. Leopard sharks, horn sharks. I think those are the big ones. I've seen aquariums with bonnet heads, but not too many. I've heard of aquariums with hammerheads, but not too many. I don't know if I'm missing anything. Famously, people have tried to keep white sharks in aquariums, and it never works. They can't. They're not. They need to be in a much larger habitat, and in the open ocean. So, but I do think it's fascinating to think about like what features make aquarium. Oh, epaulet sharks. Epaulet sharks are very popular in aquariums. But it's interesting to think about like what features make a shark well adapted to an aquarium, and I think for this species being a shallow water species that preys on like benthic or has benthic prey items is probably helpful. Sharks like epaulet sharks that are reef like have high site fidelity and love coral reefs, kind of makes sense that they don't really need a lot, like they do well in the aquarium environment. Sand tiger sharks also having high site fidelity, and also sand tiger sharks being critically endangered. I think captive breeding in an aquarium is at this point might be beneficial for the species, but let's see. Due to its rather limited geographical range and limited exchange among regional stocks, resident stocks near population centers may be particularly vulnerable to heavily localized fishing pressure. However, this species does not appear to be at risk, judging by the combined landings in relation to the previously calculated estimates of fishing mortality and exploitation rates. current conservation and regulatory actions enacted by the California Department of Fish and Wildlife appear to have reduced these rates and have contributed significantly towards protecting the species from excessive harvesting in recent years, and there's evidence that the leopard shark population has been increasing as a result of these management actions. Awesome. As a result of the success of the conservation measures taken in the United States and the lack of a significant fishery in Mexican waters, this species is assessed as least concern. However, due to the fact that the species is endemic to this region, it is subjected to recreational fishery and bycatch pressures, albeit regulated in the U.S. It's susceptible to overfishing. It is impacted by habitat loss and degradation. It is important to continue managing and monitoring the species to ensure the health of the species. So I appreciate that. So it's doing okay, but let's keep an eye on it. Just make sure that, yeah, keep an eye on it. Sounds okay. But again, I'm really glad to see yet another shark that is least concerned, and overall, like, I think it's a very hopeful thing, as far as like a lot of conservation is very doom and gloom, and especially like in light of the fact that successful management has helped it maintain its status of least concern. So I think it's really cool as far as the leopard shark goes. Oh, cool. So Douglas Maine, I remember seeing a bamboo shark at SeaWorld. Yep. So that makes sense as far as like that's another like coral reef bottom dwelling species that probably is okay. Bamboo sharks, epaulet sharks, and nurse sharks all being buccal pumpers, so sitting on the seabed and actively pumping water over gills, probably helps with an aquarium environment as opposed to a shark that needs to swim in order to like get oxygen over its gills, or it needs to actively swim in order to do that. So yeah, that's pretty cool. That makes sense that a bamboo shark is an aquarium shark as well. Any other species you guys have seen? One uncommon one I've seen is a black-nosed shark, which is kind of like, it's a small cousin of like a sandbar shark with a little black spot on its nose. Lemon sharks, I've seen lemon sharks in aquariums. Not often, but I've seen them. I'm trying to think of some other species, just out of curiosity. Zebra sharks. Baltimore Aquarium has zebra sharks. Black tip reef sharks, very pretty aquarium species. So, let's see. Oh, chain cat sharks. That's a big one. So at least on the Atlantic coast of the United States, chain cat sharks I feel like are fairly popular. So they're a deep water species, but I mean not too far down. But like Howard, bonnetheads. Yep, there's bonnetheads in Moat Marine Lab. They have a really cool bonnethead tank in Florida. So, but those are really cool because like I don't see them too often. Actually, no, Baltimore has them too. I think Baltimore Aquarium has bonnetheads as well. But what was I saying? Chain cat sharks. I think Virginia Aquarium. I've seen them in New England Aquarium. They used to be. I think I recently went to the Virginia Living Museum in Newport News, and they used to be there. But last time I've been there, they don't have any sharks this year. So, oh, cool, Howard. We have them here in Toronto. Awesome. That's a cool species because in aquariums, some programs have, like in Toronto, do they have like do they have a display where you can actually see the eggs? Because some programs will have chain cat shark egg cases, and you can actually see the development of like they'll backlight the eggs and illuminate just kind of like the eggs, so you can actually see the embryo developing inside. So Virginia Aquarium had that. I think they might still have it actually. Virginia Aquarium in Virginia Beach has that. I think a couple other aquariums have that, but let me know if Toronto has that, because it's a pretty cool display. So and again, it's really cool to think about getting back to like reproductive diversity. Like cat sharks are in Carchariniforms, and it's the same order as like hammerheads and bull sharks, but cat sharks lay eggs, and hammerheads and bull sharks give live birth. And it's just like, it's kind of amazing how diverse this is. You know, and it's the same order. I mean, it's just like, you know, it's kind of like the equivalent, taxonomically, it's like the equivalent of like primates are in order, right? But it's like saying that some primates lay eggs and some primates give live birth. It's crazy. Like, shark diversity is crazy. It's so wild to think about. So, let's see, fish base. I don't think it's probably going to tell us anything new, because usually fish base is very brief. Let's see. Leopard shark like sandy areas, mud flats, bottom strewn with rocks or rocky reefs and kelp beds. The infamous innkeeper worm. That is a weird. I had no idea that was going to appear tonight. That's the strangest thing. Some scientists are weird, man. Like they have weird sense of humor. 4 mixed schools. 4 to 29 young in a litter. Yeah, nothing really new. Fishbase is a very good compendium of species. Like, this is a very, like, Fishbase is awesome because it's so robust, but it's also very brief. So, it's a good catalog, but it's very brief. So, it's kind of cool to check out Monterey Bay Aquarium, because, again, very famous aquarium. So, I do want to check out its profile on the leopard shark, and a beautiful photo, too. And see if there's anything that it can tell us. So, but actually, I love this photo. Sorry, this is a stunning photo. I love like how dark the fins are here, and just like how it's like this solid wall of like black, you know, or like, well, not black, but like just like it's like this solid like chocolatey color. That's a gorgeous photo. Just juxtaposed with like this aquamarine water and this like golden kelp. It's so pretty. Let's see. Interesting. Look closely at the dark spots. The older a leopard shark is, the paler the interior of the spots. Makes sense. Interesting. Sturdy triangular pectoral fins are matched by 2 dorsal fins. Beautiful. This is beautifully written, by the way, and a long tapered tail switches gracefully back and forth. This is a very beautiful little paragraph. So go Monterey Bay. Awesome little blurb on the leopard shark. There it is again. Diet: clams, fish eggs, fat innkeeper worms, crabs, and fishes. What is this? Like, it keeps... This keeps popping up. Like, you could play like bingo. How many websites has the fat innkeeper worm? What a specific thing. Like, I feel like this is like an inside joke. It's just like, wow. It's so funny. Alright. Leopard sharks have a reputation of being docile to people, but they're not so docile towards invertebrates and small fishes. We have to be careful about who we put in the exhibit with them. Oh, he has to make sure the leopards don't tempt hungry 7-gill sharks. Larger relatives are also on display in the aquarium. I love like that kind of insight. I remember Virginia Aquarium, I was asking about the sand tigers, and they do like predate on on their tank mates. Like, sand tigers will eat their tank mates. Like not other sand tiger sharks, but like they will eat like the other fish. You know, like even though there's like regimented feeding times, they'll still do it. They'll still go after other fish. So, which makes sense, but. It's kind of cool. Small leopard sharks are in the slough exhibit. I don't know if I'm saying that right. As they grow, they move up to the wave pool of the aviary exhibit and then into the kelp forest. I kind of like that phasing. That's really cool. Finally, when they're near full size, they go into the deep reef exhibit with the big fish. Wow. When they're first brought to the aquarium, wild leopard sharks do require little care. Often they have parasites called copepods living on their skin, a problem that's common in many sharks. But leopards are fairly clean compared to other sharks. You could just pluck them right off, okay? They'll even... Okay. After sharks have been in captivity for a while, they gaze to food like squid, fish, and prawns, often handed to them by divers. They'll even swim up to the 7 gills and take food away from them. that's I think that's hilarious. I used to take care of a couple different fish in Seacoast Science Center in Odorn, like in Rye, New Hampshire, and then in the Virginia Institute of Marine Science, and like in Gloucester Point, Virginia. And what was one thing I really loved is like after you spend a long time with the fish that you're taking care of, you start to see personalities. Like I'm used to pufferfish being very friendly. Pufferfish are always like interested in what people are doing, and then I'm used to black sea bass being like could not care less what you're doing. Like I've had to like clean tanks and like kind of like maneuver the fish around, and usually most fish would be scared of like me kind of like trying to nudge them out of the way. And black sea bass does not care. Like he's very bold. Hake are like dogs. They're very excited to get food, and like they're like the first to come up to the surface. It's fun to see the different personalities. So I love this little note personally about like leopard sharks kind of stealing prey from seven-gill sharks. I think that's really cool. So, but honestly, as far as personalities go, again, I don't know what it is about pufferfish, but like both aquarium pufferfish and wild pufferfish, and I mean like burrfish, like northern puffers, like I don't know what it is about them, but they seem very happy to meet you. I've had pufferfish just come up to me, like in both the wild and both like in aquarium settings, and they're just very like they're so curious, which I think is really adorable and really funny. So I don't know what it is, but that's something. It's happened often enough where I'm like, okay, there's something going on with pufferfish, like, and I love it. Like they're very very cool. Let's see. Oh, this is it. Here it is again. We buy food according to the Seafood Watch card, Manny says, and there doesn't seem to be too many markets selling fat innkeeper worms. This is like a joke. This keeps happening. Oops. So a cool little preview of the tank as far as leopard shark care goes. It's a really beautiful individual, very distinct markings. So it looks like they're catching it to perform some diagnostics, making sure that the shark is okay. Very cool. Oh, it looks like just with the caption, they're looking for parasites on the gills. It's a wild shot, actually. There he goes. So let's see if there's any other new bits of information on natural history. Leopard shark will often follow the high tide to feed while cruising shallow mud flats, then move back out again as the water recedes. A female leopard shark is usually about 10 years old when she has her first litter. After that, a female will generally mate every year. As leopard shark gets older, it starts eating more fish and fewer crabs. The leopard shark is also, this is cool seeing this again. Smoothhound sharks, bat rays, and even octopus in its stomach. Good. And some more beautiful shots. So, honestly, I think this has been my favorite aquarium profile. And like I like, no offense to Florida Museum of Natural History, because it's like I think there is an aquarium associated with that, of course, but like Monterey Bay Aquarium, this is a really great profile. I love this layout. This is actually, and it's like a lot of cool information too. Let's see. Leopard shark lives close to shore and is firm like meat that tastes good, so popular with anglers and spearfishers. But again, the shark has a high mercury content, so it's and there it goes. Yeah, polluted water can pollute fish. In 1975, scientists dissected 5 leopard sharks caught in San Francisco Bay to see what they ate. On a hunch, they also had the fish's livers analyzed. In all 5, they found high levels of mercury, a toxic element. In 1997, another study investigated pollutants in a variety of fish from San Francisco Bay, including 8 leopard sharks. All 8 had levels of mercury in their tissues that were over the accepted safe limits for humans. Interesting. So this looks like this is a good model species for bioaccumulation of mercury, because this is coming up over and over again. So this and that worm, they're coming up over and over again as far as this species goes. I do want to click. I hope I don't screw up the internet, but I do want to click the live cam to see if we can actually see leopard sharks live. I don't know if this is going to work. You're watching pre-recorded off hours of the video cam. Okay. Oh, there we go. So you can actually, let me see if I can make that bigger. And let me check the comments before I do that. Oh, thank you, Binges. Bonnetheads are related species are interesting. So yes, we have episodes on, let me type this in here. Bonnethead shark, winghead shark, and then the great hammerhead. So those are the 3 hammerheads that we've covered this year. So yeah, please go ahead and check it out. Those were super fun episodes. And let's turn on this live, kind of like this live feed of this tank. So it looks like, so this is like a pre-recorded section, but it's kind of cool that there is a live portion of it. Oh, look at this. This is the Pacific spiny dogfish, Squalus sucklei. That's a really cool sturgeon as well. I don't know what this is. I'm not as good with Pacific fish. Broad-nosed 7-gill shark, very cool. This is a great tank. Oh, that's a striped bass. Wow. I didn't realize striped bass were Pacific, so. Sorry, I just want to get another shot of the leopard shark in full view. And I don't know what kind of ray that is. Oh, that's another good shot of the broad-nosed 7-gill shark. So, very cool. Oh man, this is a cool aquarium. I definitely need to go here someday. This is super cool. Again, don't know what that fish is. That's a strange looking fish. But these leopard sharks are beautiful. Wow. I'm not sure. Is this the same species that you drew, Howard? The is this like a Chevenot? Like again, I'm not as good with Pacific species. I could do Atlantic rays, but I'm not exactly sure what that one is. So. But this is an excellent tank. Like, lots of cool biodiversity going on here. So definitely want to go to this aquarium someday. Whoop, sorry, didn't mean to pause that. But we're almost at the end anyway. So yeah, let's keep looking out for some leopard shark stuff. So, this is a cool shot from, oh, sorry, Minges, I saw your comment. Like a normal innkeeper worm, distinct from the fat innkeeper worm. I have a sneaking suspicion it's the same innkeeper worm, and I have a sneaking suspicion that this, I have a really sneaking suspicion that it's a marine biology joke in terms of like, you know, it's like they say all these generic things like, oh, an octopus, you know, bottom-dwelling fish, and then the innkeeper worm. It's so funny to me. I'm like, I've never heard of that. I think I've heard of that group before, but I've never heard of an innkeeper worm specifically, so that's just like, oh man. Scientists are weird, so, or not weird, but funny. I don't know. Weirdly funny, or funnily weird. But anyway, this is Sea Grant, California. Sea Grant is pretty cool. Each state has a Sea Grant program. So I was very curious to see what they have on the leopard shark. So I definitely want to kind of check out some. I like how they have the science, the fishery, and the seafood. I'm kind of curious, like, what this breakdown is about. So, let's see. So as far as leopard shark science, males live to at least 24 years old, and females live to at least 20 years old. It is, I mean, fairly late maturing. So males mature between 7 and 13 years, females 10 to 15 years. Okay, found year-round along the open coast, particularly in kelp forest, rocky reefs, and near sandy beaches. So that's actually pretty interesting, where this is not a migratory species, per se. This is one that is endemic to the area. So that's actually kind of cool, as far as, like, for California. Like, that's actually, I think that's really cool. You know, it makes sense that maybe Southern California is a bit milder as far as seasonal changes, as far as I understand. But again, I'm personally just used to massive shark migrations because I live in a very temperamental environment. Like right now, in the bay, we have 2 species, but in summer that changes to 10 species, and they're all completely different. So yeah, it's unusual to me to see a shark that's like in a temperate environment that's there year round. That's really cool. So. Aggregates with other elastomers, the bat rays, smooth sharks, 7-gill sharks. That's interesting because we talked about like how leopard sharks, smooth sharks, dogfish, but I didn't realize it was also bat rays, and that seems really weird. 7-gill sharks, that seems a little odd, but let's see. Let's check out what Secret has to say about the fishery, because I'm curious if there's any. Let's see. Targeted by recreational anglers, small-scale commercial fisheries, marine aquaria collectors, available all year round. Managed federally by the NOAA Fisheries, so the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration Fisheries. And the Pacific Fishery Management Council. Okay. Overfishing in 1986. Catch restrictions set shortly after, including a size limit, a catch limit of 3, as well as a boating and depth laws and gear regulations. There is currently no concern over the status of populations in California. Numbers estimated to be stable while catch restrictions in place. Regulation established in 1992 has helped populations recover in San Francisco Bay and beyond. Okay. So again, it's kind of cool to see. I feel like it's rare to see it happen, but a shark that, you know, is actually benefiting from regulations and doing well, where it's like you can see a success story. That's actually really cool. Seafood. It's really weird to see. I kind of really feel like sharks are just not a major part of American cuisine, thankfully. But it's really weird to see this thing. Unlike the dark meat texture of most sharks, this one's white and flaky. I don't like that. The meat is edible, but do they have anything on the mercury? Oh, there we go. Yeah, toxicity report. Because the leopard shark has mercury and PCBs, it's generally recommended to eat at most one serving per week. Oh gosh. Although not toxic, sharks can develop an ammonia smell and taste if handled improperly. To avoid this, gut and bleed. Yeah, sorry. But like, this is really weird to me. I've never seen this before. As far as like, I've never seen like anything on a shark as far as like its edibility in such detail. Like, it's really weird. Again, it's just like, I just feel like it's so rare, like in this country. You know, it's just like, as far as like, I just feel like it's rare. I mean, yeah, I personally do not want to eat leopard shark anytime soon, because it's like, one, I would never do that. How dare one eat a shark? And then two, the mercury. Like, really, like, I would be so cautious about that I'm like, I would never, yeah. So, Let's move on to, I have a funny feeling we might be able to touch base on some research tonight, but I think with the last shark stream before the holiday special, this might be maybe a lighter night, so it's cool to kind of check back in with the Shark Research Institute. We'll see Jess next week, but it was cool talking with her about this because she, has been here. So this website is kind of especially awesome. But I love that we have the Mark Dando illustrations as far as shark art goes. As far as like scientific shark art, Mark Dando is awesome, and he's kind of like, he's one of my favorites because this is the art that's featured in Sharks of the World. So really cool drawing in terms of like leopard shark patterns. But there's another artist, I forget his name, but he has like these kind of more like, what's his name? I think his name begins with an M. I have to find it for next week. But there's another artist that I really like. Oh shoot, what is his name? I'll have to find that later because this is gonna bother me. But there's another shark artist that I really like. That Mark Dando has like really cool, like, this is kind of like more like a sketchwork or drawing. But this other artist has kind of more like these like bright, popping, like iridescent images of sharks, and I have to find it because it's really cool stuff. But let's see if Shark Research Institute has anything new. Slow growing, late to mature, active, strong swimming sharks. I don't think we've seen a shark that schools or like has different kinds of schools, schools with different kinds of species as much as the leopard shark. So it's kind of cool to see that. Common to abundant where they occur. They have valuable flesh, so intensive commercial and sports fishing led to their population declines. However, the U.S. population is now well managed. Their status in Mexico is unknown. They are very hardy and readily adapt to captivity when they are young, and some have been maintained in aquaria for more than 20 years. Very interesting. So I knew this was like a charismatic, popular species, but like I didn't know how it's like prominent in these two completely different ways. It's prominent as like, I feel like this is the most positively discussed shark as far as like fishing goes for consumption, at least in the United States, and yet simultaneously this is also a case study for mercury, and mercury accumulation. So it's like it's pretty fascinating to see like two ends of that spectrum. So leopard shark from San Diego Zoo. I just want to take a peek at this. Oh, cool. Howard, thank you for answering my question. Mine was, just catching up the comments. Shovelnose guitarfish, they have lots of color variations. Hey, Roy, what's up? Awesome. So yeah, like, we were checking out a live stream of or not a live stream, but a recording of a leopard shark, or shark tank in Monterey Bay Aquarium. And there was a ray that I was trying to figure out what it was, and I think it was, I suspect it was the same one that Howard drew. Let me pull up Howard's art, by the way. So, shovelnose guitarfish. So, very cool. But I hope you're doing well, Roy. We were telling the stream that we have our holiday special next week, but this is the last shark of the year. So we've been covering the leopard shark, but we've also been kind of like reflecting on like some of the cool highlights this year and just some of the cool moments and the science. And like in the chat, we've left some of our favorite streams, like the Mako shark stream, the basket shark stream. There's been a lot of really cool ones, and it's been a really fun year. So it's a leopard shark episode, but it's also like a recap episode. So let's see. I think this might be the last. Yeah, this is talking about sharks in general, and I feel like we should probably move on to at least one paper, like one bit of science, because I think these are kind of more of the same piece of information. I'm just kind of scanning that really quickly. Beautiful photos, but yeah, okay. Beautiful photos, but like I think this is going to be kind of more of the same information. So let's take a look at some science. Just taking one last look at the for 2023 for sharkreferences.com. So the landing page for this particular species. So really cool diagnostic photos, seeing just very clearly like the beautiful blotching pattern on the body. This is wrong. I don't know where these points are coming up because this is a Pacific Coast species. This is not correct. So I think that was just like a glitch. This is usually an awesome website, but let's see. Ooh, check this out. Oh, this is wild. Let's take a look at this. Oh shoot, I keep doing this on this website. I can't zoom in like I'd like to, but okay. So this is extremely cool because you know how we were talking about like the plate, you know, like where it's like the leopard shark has like a plate tooth shape. So it does, like you have these densely packed rows of teeth, and it works a little bit like a smooth hound as far as like, okay, it's like kind of like one comb of teeth, right? But these are definitely a lot more pointed and a lot more distinct than smooth hound teeth. So it's kind of brutal. Like this shark has a pretty amazing dentition where you know, you've got kind of like that powerful like bite where it's like you kind of have that like plate effect of like multiple rows of teeth acting as one, you know, big broad like plate, but they're these like sharp blades, so it's kind of like an intermediary tooth type between like the flat crushing teeth of the like a dusky smooth hound, muscelless, and then like the more pointed, you know, shearing teeth of like a Carcharinus, like a sandbar shark. So it's kind of cool to see that it makes sense with the kind of prey that this shark eats. As far as like it does eat bottom dwelling prey, but it will sometimes go after fish and you know, like once it gets big enough, like other sharks. So this is super cool to see. So beautiful preserved chondrocranium. So the rostrum and the jaw set here. Man, that's wild. So I know some fishermen say you can stick your finger in a smooth hound's mouth and you'll be fine. I would never try that with this species. I would never try that with a smooth hound either, because it's like if the jaws can crush shellfish, then you know it's not good. So really nice shot right here, where these teeth are small, but again they're razor sharp. So like a bunch of those biting down into something, you don't want that to happen. So again, here's this beautiful. I love this photo. Oh no, this is not the same photo, but it's kind of like a similar motif of like just like blue water, golden kelp, and a leopard shark swimming in the foreground. So I love that composition. All right, so let's check out. I had a couple papers pulled up, and I think this is probably the best one to kind of end 2023 on, as far as like, you know, like an actual shark stream, because it has some paleontology in it. And this whole year we've done a lot of like cool paleontology. So you know, and I feel like this has been like something that kind of makes our community unique, where we have a lot of people on the stream who like know their shark paleontology, and I've learned a lot from you guys about it, you know, personally. So it's just like that's one of my other favorite things about this year is like I've learned. I feel very comfortable with living sharks, especially Atlantic living sharks or North Atlantic living sharks, but prehistoric sharks I really did. I had a vague idea of who was who, but I had no idea. I didn't really know as much until like I learned more from you guys on the stream. So super cool. So this is probably a good one to end on, I think. So because it's combining paleontological and neontological data shows a delayed diversification burst of carcharodontiform sharks, likely mediated by environmental change. So what's cool is like we're going to be talking about the whole order of carcharodontiforms. It includes Howard's favorite, Hemipristis. Minja mentioned earlier that she loves hammerheads, so this is going to include the hammerheads as well. So and it includes our leopard shark for tonight. So I think it'll be a cool one to kind of end on, especially coming full circle. The first stream was a bull shark, and that's also a carcharodontiform. So yeah, it's a cool order to end on. So even though this was the year of the lamniforms, 2023 I will say is the year of the lamniforms, but I digress. So let's see. Just catching up with some comments. Howard totally agreed. Beautiful skull prep. Let's see. Oh, it's funny. Minjas, I just saw your comment. So it's coming, like, on my system, it's coming... I think you sent an emoji, which is awesome. It's coming out on my system as, like, text. So it was confusing me for a second. I'm getting, like, face purple wide eyes, face purple wide eyes. So, but I'm going to start that. And Roy, I'm going to start Don't Underestimate Leopard Sharks. So, that's super cool. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and check this out. This is going to be, I think this is going to be a really cool study to end on. So, estimating deep time species level diversification process remains challenging. Both the fossil record and molecular phylogenies allow the estimation of speciation and extinction rates, but each type of data may still provide an incomplete picture of diversification dynamics. Here we combine species-level paleontological fossil occurrences and neontological, molecular phylogenies data to estimate deep time diversity dynamics through process-based birth-death method models for carcharodontiforms, the most speciose shark order today. So that was a lot of jargon, but the base, like, I think kind of like the basic point is we're looking at fossils and DNA and seeing if we can like combine those data sets to create a story as far as like how did carcharodontiforms evolve into what they are. And it's really cool to single out carcharodontiforms because they're the most speciose, and arguably if you're the most speciose, you're kind of arguably one of the most successful orders of creatures, you know. I mean, then again, I just realized it's probably not accurate because you could argue humans are wildly successful, and it's primates is like a big order, but anyway, I digress. Carcharodontiforms, as far as sharks go, there's like hundreds of species in this order, and when you compare it to lamniforms, there's like 30 species. Squatiniforms is like 20 species, maybe not even. So there's something about carcharodontiforms that has been very successful. So let's check it out. Despite their abundant fossil record dating back to the Middle Jurassic, only a small fraction of extant carcharodontiform species is recorded as fossils, which impedes relying on only the fossil record to study the recent diversification. Combining fossil and phylogenetic data, we recover a complex evolutionary history of carcharodontiforms, exemplified by several variations in diversification rates, with an early low diversity period followed by a Cenozoic radiation. So it looks like carcharodontiforms were kind of like one thing for a while, and then in the Cenozoic era, so like after the meteor killed the dinosaurs, carcharodontiforms kind of blossomed and exploded into the myriad of different sharks that we see today. We further reveal a burst of diversification in the last 30 million years, which is partially recorded with fossil data only. So 30 million years is, let me check the chart, the Oligocene. So very cool. Oh, you're fine, Minjas. I just saw your comment. No worries. Like that's totally fine. I just thought it was funny. Like I was getting confused for a second. So you're totally fine. No worries. So. We also find that reef expansion and temperature change can explain variations in speciation and extinction through time. That's really cool. These results pinpoint the primordial importance of these environmental variables in the evolution of marine clads. Our study also highlights the benefit of combining the fossil record with phylogenetic data to address macro evolutionary questions. So we will skim through maybe bits of the introduction, maybe, and definitely the discussion, but I definitely want to see kind of like if there's like a phylogenetic tree, because I would love to see that. Oh, I'm sorry, I usually do this. Sorry, this is by Baptiste Brie, Fabien L. Condamine, and I apologize for not saying this correctly. Guillaume Guina? I apologize if I did not say that correctly, but this is Scientific Reports, published in 2022. So, very recent study. So, but I apologize in advance if I said those names incorrectly. So, let's see. 290 species of carcharodontiforms. So that's, I know I said there were hundreds, but like, damn, like that's 290. So if there's like 514 sharks, it's the dominant order. Like that is more than half the amount of sharks in the world today are carcharodontiforms, which is wild because there's like 8 orders, like carcharodontiforms, lanoforms, ornitholobiforms, squaliforms, heterodontiforms, squatiniforms, priscophoriforms, hexantiforms. I don't know if I said squaliforms already, and then you have echinorhinoforms, which is kind of new. So 9 orders, So that's crazy that carcharodontiforms are the biggest. It's pretty wild. Let's see. I forgot that carcharodontiforms were this old, originating in the Middle Jurassic. So that's pretty cool. Here we go. This is the stuff that I wanted to kind of learn. And this is actually a really cool chart. So, oh, here we go. Yeah, there's the orders. Sorry, I shouldn't have counted. I should have just scrolled down. Sorry, I'm trying to make this bigger so you can see. Okay. So, I know this part is kind of getting blocked out, but heterodontiforms is only 9 species, hexantiforms 7, priscophoriforms, the saw sharks are 10. So really the next most populous are the squaliforms, which are 145, but carcharodontiforms are 284. So it's like, it's a huge group. And when you look at the families that are broken down, you have Pentanchidae, which is a kind of cat shark. Triakidae, which our leopard shark is a triakid right here. There's 45 triakid species, 106 pentanchid species, which are cat sharks. There's actually quite a few different kinds of cat sharks. Atelomictoridae is a kind of cat shark. Scalorhinidae is like the classic cat shark family. Sphaeridae, which are the hammerheads, there's 8 species. The Galeocertidae, I was talking about this earlier, this is, again, so wild to me that Galeocertidae is its own thing, that tiger sharks are their own family, like they're that distinct. Hemigaliidae, 8 species of weasel sharks, so there's that. Carcharodontidae, like bull sharks and sandbar sharks, that's 54 species, so it's a pretty wild order, and with a lot of success with the cat sharks in particular. It's so cool. Roy, before I forget, by the way, for next week, we have a kind of like it's not really an art contest, but like more of like an art showcase submission for next week. We have the holiday special. So the theme is kind of like celebrating shark biodiversity, making it holiday themed. It's very freeform, but any piece of art you'd like to submit, if you wanted to create something for the holiday special, as far as like we'll feature it as a thumbnail. We're gonna have Jess on next week, and we're gonna kind of have the year in review and do something kind of special as far as shark art and biodiversity. So, but and Roy, I just saw your comment. My goodness, it's all reef sharks. Howard, ooh, this is cool. I'm going to star that. Tiger sharks are more diverse in the Miocene. That is so cool to me. That is so cool to me. Because it's like, again, like now we're in this age where there's just the one species. But it's so cool to me that tiger shark diversity was like higher in the past. It's so cool to me. And this is cool. Look at this. Species richness per size class. So, let's see. It doesn't have a... it doesn't have like a description on this, but like there's 17 large species, 41 medium species, and most of them are small species. So most of them are the small cat sharks. So, okay. This is... I think this is just methods. Yep. It's just methods. Excuse me. Okay. Okay. I am very curious about figure D. I think I should keep scrolling because this is not locked onto a specific timeline, but let's go in here. Basically, the super simplified gist of this is like they're looking at fossils and genetics in order to kind of reconstruct a timeline for carchariniform diversity. So it's kind of cool to see. Oh shoot! On this graph with the green line, I know it's not a great view. You can see kind of a spike here, a decrease here, and then another big spike. So I'm assuming this is like the the y-axis on the graph is the number of species. The x-axis is time. So I'm assuming this is the 30 million years ago, the Oligocene event, where there's a lot of species coming into play in carchariniforms. But again, this is not mapped to a specific timeline. So I think this is kind of more like maybe a model graph in terms of what they're doing. So I'm hoping there's something we can see later that shows us more. And I know we're getting close to 11, so I promise we won't spend too much time on this. We won't do methods. Oh, this is cool. Okay. Oh, yes. Okay, this is an excellent way to end the year. All right, let's do it. Here we go. And again, we're back next week. But, yeah, this is so cool to me. So here we go. So this is a phylogenetic tree where you have all the carchariniforms classified. But the best part is it's mapped to a timeline. So, do you know what's funny? Did we see this earlier this year, by the way? I feel like this study, I kind of feel like this might have been on an earlier stream. And no worries if so, because we have a few new guests tonight, so that's totally cool. But, like, this is the coolest thing to me, where it's like you can have... like you can map this to a specific timeline and you can see these like diversification events. So very cool. There's Hemipristis curvatus. So the star that's marked number 1. So this guy is Upper Cretaceous, and this is an ancestor to the Hemigaliidae in the what color? What is this? I know this is a fancy word for this dark red color. I know there's a fancy word for it, but my brain is broken. It's Monday. Whatever this is. Hemipristis elongata, Hemigalius, Paragalius, Kinogalius, Paragalius again. Super, super cool to see. This is the Hemipristis ancestor that gave rise to the Hemigaliidae. Again, look at this. Galeocertidae, the tiger shark. Just one species. Evolving and separating from the other carchariniforms in the Upper Cretaceous. So it's split from Carcharinidae and it's split from Sphaeridae. So, and Carcharinidae and Sphaeridae are sharing the same common ancestor also in the Upper Cretaceous period, but Galeocertidae split from them a long time ago. So it's really cool to see that. For Tonight Shark, the Leopard Shark, this is Triakis semifascata, which is up here. I know this is kind of tiny text, but it's kind of right up here. So it looks like this species may have come into play in the Eocene. So, pretty old line, I'm very curious to see what some of the most modern species are, as far as like some of the diversification. It looks like Carcharodontis galapagensis, the Galapagos shark, and the dusky shark, pretty recent split. Carcharodontis coetezi and Dusimieri, I don't know what these two species are. I think they're Pacific species, but that's a recent split. So I just love that you can have like this whole list of species classified based on their like assumed phylogenetic relationship, and mapped to geologic time. So it's so cool to see this. Looking at hammerheads, Sphenomedia and Sphenotutes, fairly recent but still kind of old in the Miocene. The most basal hammerhead is Eusphyroblachii, the winghead shark, so that split off from everybody else. Sphenomacron, the great hammerhead, also split off from the others, which makes sense because Sphenomacron looks so extreme compared to the other hammerheads. So, yeah, this is a really cool chart. It's kind of wild seeing Sclerinidae, the classic cat sharks, being such a ancient split from the other Carcharodoniforms. And again, Scalarinids, they do lay eggs, so it's kind of cool to see that this is the oviparous group that split off. I assume the other cat sharks lay eggs as well. So Pentangidae and Telemicteridae, I assume these lay eggs. Let me make sure I got that right. I'm just going to check Sharks of the World, and I promise I won't spend too much time on this because I know it's getting kind of late, but let's see. Pentangidae. Just want to zoom forward to that. Okay, so Pentangidae is mostly egg-laying, but a couple give live birth, so that's pretty wild. The leopard shark, which is in Triakidae, is ovoviparous, so it again, it's birth inside the mother's body, or sorry, it's the eggs are hatched inside the mother's body, and then birth happens later. And then you've got Spherinids and Carcharinids, which give true live birth. So it's kind of a wild spectrum to see here. But this is incredible to kind of create this study and see these relationships. I'm kind of curious to see, just out of curiosity, where's Carcharodontis lucas again? The bull shark and the pig-eye shark, no surprise, are pretty closely related because they look so similar. It's pretty cool to see. And I think that's it as far as all I've got for this Minge's Crimson Maroon. I think Maroon is the one I'm looking for. So, oh, awesome, Roy. I'll give the contest a shot. Awesome, Howard. I'm in. Awesome. Thank you guys. I'm so excited to see what you do for next week. And yeah, just like anything goes. So as far as there's not really. It's kind of like, remember when we did like the Halloweeny or the sci-fi themed shark thing? Anything goes, like holiday theme, biodiversity theme. Yeah, I'm excited to see what you guys do. So, Minges, it's the type of study you can pick apart for hours and try to see every shark. Agreed. This is super cool. It is publicly available. So this is again, sharkreferences.com has the list. So the list is on here as far as like all the publicly available studies. This one in particular, I'll just zoom to it. This was 2022. Where are you? Yeah, here you go. Yeah, Brie, Condamine, and Guinal. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but combining paleontological and neontological data shows a delayed diversification burst of carcharodoniform sharks likely mediated by environmental change. This is from 2022. So feel free to review. I mean, not feel free. Like you could do whatever you want, but like yeah, this is publicly available, so to read at your leisure, and it's super cool. I definitely like this stuff. I personally love a lot, as far as like, you know, like I agree. Like you can look at this for hours, as far as like seeing the relationships between all these different groups of sharks. It'll be cool to see like there's a couple studies that have done roughly the same thing with all of sharks, like all of shark kind, but not very. It's robust. Like they've had 250 species in general, but it's still like you're missing. There's gaps, of course, because there's so many more sharks in the world. So I think since it's getting close to 11, we'll probably wrap this up in a little bit. So I'm just gonna skim through to see if there's a cool graph. Okay, I do want to highlight this really quick. I'm just checking to see if there's any leopard shark on this. I don't see a leopard shark, but I do see Howard pointed this out earlier, so I do want to take a look at this because I just think this is the coolest thing. Tiger shark, Galeocertidae. Look at all these different tiger sharks, because we have the existing species is Galeocerta cuvier, but look at all the extinct tiger shark species. We have Acutus, Aduncus, Aegypticus, Bigelowii, Casei, Chinganticus, Clarkensis, Davisi, Eagleosomi, Latidens, Mayubensis, Paulinoi, Rosalianensis. It's just so cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 extinct species and 1 extant species of tiger shark. So amazing that, like, for whatever reason, Galeocerta cuvier, the tiger shark, is the winner, as far as like, I wonder how it outcompeted the other species, you know. So super cool. Pretty amazing sight. And there's extinct hammerheads. Look at this. Sphena integra, Lavissima, Lagostensis, Guinati, Sphena aramborgi. I've never heard of that. So that's amazing. I love these extinct shark species. These prehistoric sharks are so cool. So yeah, that's awesome. So this study is really cool. Let me go back up to the title. But I think that was like a perfect one to end on, and we are actually at 11 Eastern Coast time, or Eastern time. I guess whatever the international thing is, +5. I don't know. I'm being a nerd, but yeah, I think we're gonna wrap up. Let me go back. There's that beautiful photo that I want to end on as far as leopard sharks go. So, not that one. Where is this? I think this was Monterey Bay Aquarium had it. Yeah, let's go back on. Did Monterey Bay have a beautiful photo of? Yes, I just love this photo. So there we go. Okay. So yeah, I think it's probably time to wrap it up. So it's super cool. Let me catch up on the comments really quick. So, oh, Howard, that's so cool. You have a few of those species. That is so cool. Yeah, like for your art, when you submit your art, please, if you don't mind, please feel free to send a picture. So yeah, because I would love to see those teeth. So and Roy, I want to see or I really want to see what the extinct tiger shark's color patterns are like. Yes, like I would love to see artistic interpretations of it. So yeah, I will take a look. But have a good night, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and sincerely, thank you so much for being here for 2023. You guys are awesome, and I learned so much from you. So this has been an amazing year, and I think just shout out to the lamniforms again. I think this has been an amazing lamniform year in particular. We've covered so much diversity, but I cannot wait to see what you guys do next week as far as art goes. Jess will be here, and next week will be the holiday special, our last stream of the year, and we'll go out with a bang. So, but take care, guys. Hope you have a great week, and happy holidays, and I'll see you next week. So have a good night.